It's Talk Westmoreland on News Talk 1480. I am Hank Baughman. Well, sustainability is a big issue. Yeah, and it's a big objective and the proper one. Conserve resources, protect the environment, sustain our lives. And so yesterday at State College, was the first annual Sustainability Pennsylvania Conference attended by by Pennsylvania municipal officials under the PML, the Pennsylvania Municipal League. And to talk about the conference and the objectives of the municipal sustainability effort, I welcome PML Executive Director Richard Schuettler. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, Hank. How are you?
I'm good. So, it's good to know the municipalities, that the smaller governments are getting involved in the sustainability drive because it's needed. It preserves and it costs less over the long run. So what did you all discuss yesterday at your conference?
Well, we went through a variety of subjects. Certainly the whole objective of the program, we wanted to explain that to folks and why they might want to get involved, why it's good for their community and good for their constituents. Then we went over healthy communities, things that people are doing with stormwater runoff, that's progressive thinking, and a variety of items. Energy, a lot about energy. But our sustainability program even goes beyond sort of the green and the carbon footprint. It really makes you look at your community and kind of do a self-assessment on the quality of services that you're providing to your constituents. And it can really be sort of a self-awareness thing also.
The quality of services providing constituents under the heading of sustainability. Well, how do those two connect?
Well, the idea is that if you have a community that you're providing quality services to, and you're probably doing it in the most efficient and effective way. You're looking at how you're reducing your energy costs. You're looking at how you're making the most effective use of new stormwater techniques and things like that. So that we believe the constituents ultimately gain from this, and we create communities that are that folks want to live in and that are thriving.
Well, that's the second time you've mentioned stormwater runoff, and a lot of people don't think about it. I think that's kind of dull and pedestrian.
Yes,
but it's important. In fact, there was a stormwater runoff conference in this area back here in the Westmoreland area, sponsored by the Westmoreland Conservation Group. It's important. But how important is it anyway?
Well, it's important because municipalities are being required to handle their stormwater runoff in a different way than they have before, where, you simply collect it in basins and take it out to the river. Now they're being, they have to treat it, they have to handle it, and our regulations are sort of associated with it. And a lot of folks are looking at establishing stormwater fees and things because they're going to be a cost related to it. The city of Lancaster did a very innovative, progressive way of dealing with it, trying to keep some of it in place and using different materials that they didn't have to put a whole bunch of pipeline in and are treating it that way. So there's going to be a lot, I think, of new technologies out there around that because of the potential cost.
Yes, indeed. Floods cost money.
Yes.
And also, with respect to energy, that's also super important today, sustainable energy. Does this mean green initiatives, that more communities are going to try to use renewables?
It can be, for sure. I mean, a lot of communities, for instance, we have an electric program where we help municipalities purchase their electric. And we've been, we have over 260 public entities in that program. And a lot of them actually have a renewable component to that, where they actually ask for the provider to have, 10, 15, 20% of their electric to be renewable energy.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's a good objective. We had a professor in here from St. Vincent talking about how robust renewables can be. And right after that, Germany, I think it was 2 days later, Germany actually produced more energy than it needed for a particular day strictly through renewables. It was quite a milestone. Yeah. It was quite a milestone. And this professor said we can do the same thing around here. But look, isn't it the case that some of these smaller municipalities, which really need sustainable practices, don't have the people or the resources to put them in place?
Well, certainly, but you can also partner with a lot of folks that can help you with those things. And that's one of the reasons why we are doing the kind of summit that we had yesterday. You can learn from other communities. It's the best way to learn is from what somebody else is doing. And so a lot of folks can walk out tomorrow and say, or walk out yesterday and say, hey, I learned something, and now maybe I can pursue that, and I don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Okay, but do they have to raise taxes? In other words,
you're part of being a municipal government is recognizing, what your financial capacity is, what your expertise level is, and whether you can buy it or not, and you can do it in an effective way. Some folks may have to. That's all part of understanding your own financial position and frankly, the various mandates that are put on you as a local government. You have to comply with them. Sometimes that requires revenue. Sometimes it requires reductions in other areas, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, how onerous are these requirements, sustainability requirements? We're talking about state law.
Well, no, we're not.
No?
What we're doing is simply having folks look at themselves and understand the services they're providing and then they reach different status, gold, platinum status under our certification program. So these aren't state laws that are being imposed on them. There are many, many mandates that come from the state, but this is not one of them. This is a way to look at yourself, and then you can assess whether you want to undertake a certain project or undertake a certain initiative, and make that decision on your own.
Does this have anything to do, or might this in any way play into the battle we face again with demographics in Pennsylvania? Can sustainability sustain populations, younger populations?
I think it can. I think when folks look at communities that are being innovative in the way they provide municipal services, that can attract those folks, and they may find that to be a place that they want to live.
Well, I hope so, because we've got a real problem there. In fact, we're going to be talking about it locally coming up here in the next segment of this show with our Director of Human Resources in Westmoreland County. So what was the representation at your conference? Did enough municipal officials show up to make it worthwhile? Yeah.
We had over 60 people there, and from a variety of communities. I think we had 30 or 40 different communities there. I should mention to you that this is really an offspring from Sustainable Pittsburgh, where it started, and we partnered with them to go statewide with this program. But it started out in the Pittsburgh area.
Well, I
think we think it's going to get bigger rather quickly. More and more folks are going to be interested in that, in doing this. We think the state may even look at it to try to incentivize it, and so we're pleased.
Mm-hmm. Now, does this in any way represent farmland, or this is strictly municipalities? And I mention that because of all the pesticides and herbicides that are being spread, on farmlands across America. What about open spaces?
Well, if you're a municipality that has open space, then certainly your practices regarding that could be part of this process. So we don't simply focus. We're about the municipality, but if you have that type of land use within your municipality, then yes. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've paid a lot of attention to that here on this program, the quality of the environment and what's being done, particularly around here with our forests in the Laurels, which are under great stresses. Sure. A lot of people don't realize the stresses. And you talk about the need to sustain anything. Those trees must be sustained. Well, Rick, let's talk about this some other time. Congratulations on your successful initial conference, and I do hope more municipalities adopt sustainability policies.
Well, thank you. We're optimistic, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Talk soon. That's Rick Schuettler, who is Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Municipal League, and they had their first sustainability conference yesterday at State College. Looks like it's fairly successful. It's Talk Westmoreland on News Talk 1480.